fellow Toastmasters. Recently, I started a new job as a program director at a not-for-profit on the west side of Chicago. And as a new employee, you know, you try to come to work on time, sometimes early, you know, take just an hour for lunch, and you try to make the best impressions that you possibly can. So you can imagine when I was sitting in my office one day, and my boss comes in and knocks and says, "Walter, I need to see you in my office." So I'm like, did I make a mistake? I've been doing everything he's telling me to do, been to work on time. I can't think why he wants to see me in this office. So as I sit down, and then he sits down, he rubs his chin and he says, "Walter, what is your most valuable asset?" And I paused and I thought, and I posed that same question to you, this crowd. What is your most valuable asset? Anybody?
Your mind.
Your mind.
Health.
Your health.
Looks.
Your
Not
looks.
me. No.
So I said my 52-inch plasma big screen. And he looked at me and he says, "What is the most valuable asset for any human being?" Can somebody answer that? Life?
Believe in oneself.
To believe in oneself?
Ability to bullshit your boss.
Well, he told me, he sat down, he says, the most valuable asset any person can have is time. And as I thought about it, I was like, okay, can you expound further? And he says, don't you know that you are a millionaire? And I'm like, you know how much you pay me, and it's nowhere near $1 million. And he said, do you know that there's 31 million seconds in a year? And I said, I had no idea it was 31 million seconds in a year. Then he tells me that, he asked me my age, and I was like, I'm 30 years old. And he says, do you know that you spent already 946 million seconds? So imagine if you're older or younger, how much time you spent. Then he poses another question I will pose to you. How have you spent your time or your wealth? And I'm like, oh man, I did probably on social media too much. I can cut down on the ESPN. And he says that, he told me, he's like, think about every second as $1. Then you tell me, how would you spend your time? And I would say, I probably wouldn't waste it on TV. I probably wouldn't waste it doing things that are not productive. And he made me realize that, and I share this lesson with you. What are you spending your time on? Is it productive? Is it taking you to where you want to be in life? And I realized that I have not been using my time in a way that I would like to get me to where I want to go. So the New Year resolution that I made is that I will be more intentional on how I spend my time. I will spend less time on things that don't matter. And I will spend more time getting to what or where I want to be in the future, which would to be a millionaire, to make an impact on lives of people that are less fortunate. So I ask you, as we begin this year, You guys have 31 million seconds. How are you spending that time? And live intentionally. Thank you.